Hi Renata, how are you? So lovely to have you here. I've enjoyed your paintings and your beautiful photographs of your trip. I especially love the one where you're on the beach and you have the scarf. It is so perfect. You should make a print of that. It is the most joyful, beautiful photograph I've seen in a long time. Very beautiful. Hi Judy, hi Betty. How's little Max doing? Is he okay? I saw a picture of him pop up at my feed last week. He's just so stinking cute. Libby, hi, how are you? I see your name. I'm pulling my computer over here. Hi Anne, nice to have you here too. So excited to be here this afternoon. It's the afternoon. I have to remember what time of day, it all blurs together. So let me see, while we're waiting for people to come on, I'm not seeing everybody's name on here. Let's see. Oh, I'm so glad he's doing great. Give him a little pat on the head for me. Hi Marika, so nice to have you here. How was Italy? Did you have a great time? I bet it was. I saw a picture of you. I think you were on a boat on Lake Como. It looked beautiful. It's a really special place, isn't it? Hi Janice, how are you? Heather, hi, my sweet friend. How are you? It's so nice to have you here. We set a new here. Oh my gosh. Wait, Judy, where are you? Are you in Arizona? Why is it 118? That's really intense. We got up to like in the 90s and I thought I was gonna like pass out from the heat. I had to sit, our house is old, so we do not have central air. But it's only hot for, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks here in Michigan. And we have window units and we just keep them in our bedrooms because we have a couple fans downstairs and it's fine. And Millie just hangs out in the hallway between Olivia's room and our room with both air conditioners blowing on her. Oh, Phoenix, oh dear, that is pretty hot there. Hi Rebecca, thanks for being here, my friend. Okay, so I have a lot to tell you guys. Let me move this over here. And before we get started, I'll give people a bit more time. So what we're gonna do today is a day at the beach. And if you received my newsletter, I wrote about, taking your experiences from your trips. And we're in summer, whether you go to the beach or you go to the lake, I think as artists or writers, you can capture what you're feeling, what you're seeing, because wherever you are, everything that you see is through your lens. So you and I could be standing next to each other on the beach, in the surf, looking out for sharks, but we see things differently. So that's why I think it's really fun to try and capture the essence of what it is you're seeing and feeling to bring to your art. And I have two little projects to share with you today to give you some ideas, because you can be at the beach and just capture these thoughts, these colors, these ideas, textures, and then bring them back to your art studio and take it from there. You don't have to create a work of art sitting on the beach or sitting at the lake. It should be relaxing, not stressful. It should be just a moment, just using a little bit of paint, maybe a couple other marks, and then you have captured something, and you have like this little travelogue of your vacation. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna I have a tiny little watercolor sketchbook, and I'm gonna show you those things that I bring with me. And then I'm gonna show you how to take it into something else and show you, different ideas that you can take. Okay, so what else did I wanna tell you? I have like my notes here. I just wanna make sure I tell you everything. So some upcoming events. I am going to be holding a live Zoom art class July 31st. It's a Thursday at 3:30 Eastern time. Because of summer and people traveling, I want to see how it works for us to meet in the afternoon. And I know everybody's in a different time zone. I have people who join me from Australia. They don't want to wake up at 2 in the morning to do an art class. So I'm trying to figure out different ways and different time zones to offer these. And they're all recorded and you can catch the replay. So we're gonna try this, and I would love to know what you think about this time. And as we move in out of summer into the fall, then football season starts here in Ann Arbor, and it's woo, hoopla. And so it's very challenging for me to do a Saturday. And so I want to keep this monthly art class going. So with that said, what we're going to do, I have the makings of an idea. And the idea is much like we did in summer flowers with the loose watercolory flowers. We're gonna do fruit and flowers, summer fruits. And so I wanna use sorbet colors, like melon colors and sorbet ice and, just kind of a yummy palette and kind of combine summer fruit and summer flowers. So I think it'll be fun, very loose and just something joyful and fun to do at the very end of July. So that brings me to, if you are on my newsletter, I make these announcements. I usually send one newsletter out a week unless there's a reminder, or if I have some inspiration for you for the weekend, I'll send it out on Friday. I try not to inundate your inbox with newsletters. I know, I get them all too. So you just, if you don't want the newsletter, it's not a big deal, because you can find the information here most of the time, not all of it, but on Facebook, but also in the community that's on Thinkific, where all my classes are, the old classes. I am posting it as an event. And everyone who has ever taken a class from me, whether it's a free class or a paid class, you have access to that community. So if you want to pop in there, you can share stuff there, you can share stuff, because we like to share. So that brings me to the last thing I want to talk about, and that is the Artist Collective. And if you weren't on the Zoom that I did in June, and don't get the newsletter, I have reshaped the Artist Collective and how I'm doing it. And I am so excited about how many of you have decided to join, because there is a special going on. And I just want to kind of clarify that and my why. So for the past year, there has been a lot going on in my life, and I wrote about that in the newsletter, and I just couldn't keep up, in all honesty, keep up with creating a filmed lesson, like 90 minutes to 2-hour lesson, and taking photographs and writing a magazine. It really became too much for me, and I was going to let it go. But then I went to France and I taught for 10 days in France. And it was so wonderful. It was so, if you ever have a chance to go to Perigord art retreats, I'm telling you, it is an experience you will never forget. Andrea is gonna be there again in September, and I think she has a couple spaces open, but it is absolutely magnificent. So in that experience, like sitting down every night, well, every morning, every afternoon, every night, and having meals and talking and making art, it was just like, became like a family and this community. And I realized how important for us as creatives, whatever it is, it could be you're a gardener, or you cook, or you decorate, you design, whatever it is you do, you're creating. And it is really important for us to create. So I realized I can't let it go, but I can do it in a different way, in a way that connects more of us. Because I feel very deep in my heart that building a community of like-minded creative souls, with however you want to create, and it doesn't matter if you just picked up a brush or a pencil or a crayon for the first time in 50 years, it doesn't matter. Because the community is very supportive, and I think it's important for all of us to be a part of a community that's very supportive, and where we can share our work, ask questions. And so that is my mission with the Artist Collective. And what you get, should you choose to join it, a lot of you are already in it, So you can just like do something else if you don't want to listen to me do my spiel. But there are 12 volumes of lessons. There's the Master Artist series, where I write a lot about studying certain masters throughout each month. There are pre-recorded lessons. I'm building an archive. Rebecca is helping me build the archive of my past lessons. And what we're doing is we're taking lessons out of my old lessons and putting them in and building this place in the membership where you can like, oh, I want to just look at landscapes and landscape lessons, and that's what you'll find. So every month there's a new lesson that I've selected, and we've categorized them: landscape, florals, portraits, abstracts, art books, so that you can just decide where you want to go and watch it. And usually, you know, there may be an hour lesson, so you're not diving into this mega class that I've created in the past. And then finally, every month I'm doing a Zoom, an art class. And that's what I think is the most important component, because I get to see you, we get to hang out together, we get to make art, we get to talk, we get to ask questions and connect as a community, and that's what's important to me. So between now and the end of August, it is $19.99 every 8 weeks. That means it's like $10 a month for all of that. And in September, I'm raising the price to $19.99 a month. And it's worth it for even $19.99 a month because there's so much stuff in there. So as a member, you get all of that for free. You get all the art lessons, you get all the magazines, you get the Zoom for free. So if you have any questions, just reach out to either myself or to Rebecca, hello@ReneeMuellerArt, and we will help you navigate if this is the right fit for you. But I would love to have you. Okay, so with all that blah, 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 I am going to move my phone and put it over my desk. Now, if you remember, last time I had some trouble. We were painting sideways. So we're gonna see, so I started out in landscape mode. So fingers crossed. So hold on, I'm gonna try it. Let's make sure it all works. Here we go. You ready? Ah, there's my ceiling. Okay, I gotta flip it. There we go. Okay. Now, oh boy. Okay, let me just make sure everything is straight. Okay, I'm just checking on my, okay, it's not quite how I want, but I think that's as good as we're gonna get. I can't zoom in. I don't know why it's so far away, but that's what's gonna happen. Okay. So let me just pull my desk out a little bit so you can maybe see it better. It's not hanging over the edge. Okay. All right. So what I have here, I'm not going to zoom in with the camera, because last time I did that, it made it very pixelated. Okay. I don't know if it's just why it does this, but I can't control it. All right. Here we go. So let me show you what I have here. We're first going to start with, I have my little travel set here. So this is a little watercolor. It's very beautiful. My friend Andrea brought this back from Italy for me, and she had my initials put on it. And I have taped off. So what I've done here is I put a piece of tape across here so I can do two little landscapes. And I have one that is vertical. Which I could turn this way and do a landscape. I want to be prepared when I go to the lake or the beach, so maybe I would tape off a few pages, okay? And then I have this tiny little set, so you don't need to bring all your things. And this is kind of a collection of different watercolors, some that I filled the pan with, and others that I got from Wildthorn. So I just have some colors of the ocean. And then I have a couple travel paint brushes, okay, which are nice. These are Escoda. And I have this little one, which I like to use too. The other thing that's nice to bring with you are these Neocolor. They're water-soluble crayons. Those are great. And if you have grandkids that you're bringing to the beach, or kids, these are super awesome because when you, I'm gonna do a little coloring right here. I'm gonna just do a little mark, and then it just moves, and they could paint with you. So you just need like a little travel thing of water. The other thing I bring with me, I have this very old pencil case, and so it always has these items in it. Pencils, a gross kneaded eraser, and micron pens. So I always keep this as is, and I put these brushes in it. So I don't have to think about, you know, packing anything up. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint a little mini landscape. I'm not gonna do color swatches, but I think I might use a different brush. All right, so I need to kind of wet my watercolors. And I really just want to do some blues, thinking of the colors of the ocean. So let's just, that's pretty. It's a nice deep blue. It's a little bit more cerulean. It's like a Payne's gray. And then I have this green, which I don't think I'll use. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wet the bottom here. And then I'm gonna go into this darker blue and do that. And then I'm gonna take water up at the top and just let it touch. Okay, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of this light blue. Let it touch inside there. So I'm gonna have this little horizon, and I always bring like a little paper towel when I'm painting, so I can, you know, wipe off my brush, get the water off. But you can also take it and pull out some clouds. Just do a little few clouds there. Let's see, this needs a little bit of a help to. Move this around. We put a little of this blue in the water, get some different colors. Okay, so that did not take very long, and I captured the feeling of the beach. And let that just kind of sit a little while. All right, now I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna put a little bit of water at the very top and bring this cerulean color in. Move it around, okay? There we go. And then I'm gonna leave a space so it doesn't all bleed together, and get my ocean here. So I want more ocean. And what color is this? It's more of a Payne's gray. This one I think is an indigo. That one's really dark. Just a tiny touch of dark right back here in the horizon where it's darker water. And watercolor does dry later. I'm just gonna bring that in. And I'm not gonna touch the sky yet. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit more. And I'm gonna go over to this side with my flat brush. And do the same thing. Let's take it all the way down. So I've taken my paper and I'm gonna cut it into threes. Like here's gonna be my water, and then I want more of the sky in this one. So it's if I'm standing right on the edge of the lake or the beach. And I can pull out some. Okay, let's So I'm just using one brush here. Oops. I find that wetting the paper, you know you can use water from the sea. That's fine too, a little water in your cup. Let's do some little bits here. And then I want to see what happens if I touch the two, so I'm just going to pull this down in here and then just let it bloom just a little bit. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now how do I bring in other elements to it? So I have these watercolor pencils. They are by Derwent, and they're great. They're like the crayons, and you can just move them around. So those are also fun to bring if you have kids, grandkids that are coming to the beach. So I want a dark blue, and I just want to add some line work into this, just kind of move things around a bit. Let's do a little scribble. Let's see. There's a boat mast out there, a boat. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and let me just bring a little bit of this in so you can see. That's too wet, so we'll do that later. Okay, all right, so now I have to move this away. That did not take very long to do, and I kind of like some of the separation of the water, but I might just kind of move some in there. Just a little bit more. There. All right, well, hopefully that will be dry by the time I'm finished with the bigger project. Okay, so I'm gonna move this off to the side, over here. Gather my brushes. All right. All right, so I went to the beach, I had a great time. I didn't get eaten by sharks. I survived. So I want to take these ideas from my little sketchbook, and I would probably like write down things. Maybe I did a little beach combing, and I collected some things. And I want to kind of bring all of that back. So I could have shells and sea glass and, you know, whatever it is you collected on the beach. I love doing that. And I want to create something that is a little bit more expressive and abstract. So this is what I'm going to use. So I have a mess already. I have some gouache. And I wouldn't bring gouache to the beach because it's just too much, it's too messy. And the watercolors are so easy to travel with. So I have two kinds of gouache here. I have this Holbein acrylic gouache. So this has a polymer in it. It has a binder that's mixed with the pigment. And then I have a pure gouache. And the difference between gouache and watercolor is that it has a type of binder that gives it more of an opaque, it's like a chalky binder. There's no polymer in this. So this is more permanent, and it needs to be, you know, I wouldn't put this down my drain when I'm washing this out. So this is pure pigment, it won't hurt anything. So I have two of these. I have the misty blue, I have a black and a white, I have a navy, an ash, and this weird yellow color. So I'm gonna put those off to the side. So what do I wanna do? I wanna create, I really like this format. So I'm gonna start with this misty blue. It's going to dry matte. You can use anything you want to do this. So it depends on what you like to do. So I'm just gonna start with this and add a little water to it and just push it And just as a reminder that when you're doing a landscape, you cut your paper into threes. So here's 1/3, 1/3. You have to decide if you want more of the landscape or the sea or more of the sky. So it depends on what you want to do. All right, so I'm gonna kind of push this around into the paper. And with this, I watered it down a little bit to get it on there, but I will need to do another coat. This was 2 coats over here. All right, now I want to do the foreground or the sea. So I have this navy blue gouache, and it's not quite the right color for me. I want it to be a darker blue, so I'm gonna add a speck of black into it. And let's see, I'm gonna use this flat brush here. So I'm gonna just start with just a little bit of black and kind of test it out. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, it's still a little bright. Still too bright. It says navy, but it looks more like a Prussian blue, but it's very sea-like. It has that kind of green of the sea, with a little bit of the blue in there. And I'm just making a turbulent sea here. Okay, so I'm gonna just pull some of this off a little bit. Too much white in that. Let's fix this here. So I'm not creating a still lake. I'm kind of creating this bird's eye, this vision of like through my phone maybe of this part of the water. All right, so I think it's always fun to kind of experiment with the different ways you can use your brush, and I'm standing up, and that makes it looser. So I have I don't know if you can see it on here, but I have a little cloth off to the side, which I can dry my brush on. Okay, so I'm just kind of twirling around, getting this little bit of a wave. All right, now I want to go in and work on my sky a little bit more. And I'm going to put a little bit of white. Oops, oh, I didn't get on the shirt. Okay, so I wear a nice shirt for Facebook Live. And I thought, oh, it's a new shirt. I'm not going to get paint on it. And I just splattered, but it didn't get on my shirt. Very happy about that. Okay. I put my apron here for a reason because I have a new shirt on, so I'm putting it on. I forgot to. All right, so there is, that probably needs to dry a little bit before I start adding some more to it. So in this one, I added some pastel. I added some line work with a pencil. So I'm gonna go back to this guy here. Let me move him over and let him dry just a little bit. And I'm gonna slowly peel off. And let's just see how it looks, because I get excited. I wanna see after taking the tape off. And it's okay if you get like little bits that bleed. That makes it look interesting. All right, so I have a piece of tape right here. Oh, I'm tearing my paper. I have too much water on it. All right. There we go. Okay. Let's see. So I'm just rolling my pencil around to get a little bit of mark making in it. Okay. And then I can write on here about the day at the beach. So it's just a tiny little snapshot of what I experienced at the beach. Maybe I want to pull in get some more clouds to come out. Oh yeah. There we go. I like that. Okay, and after it dries, it'll set a little bit. All right, I'm gonna put this guy back over here for the moment. And this may be too wet, but I'm gonna try and just demonstrate it. It may not all work. All right, so I have a mechanical pencil, and I just wanna kind of bring in this idea of when you're on the beach, there may be some boats out on the horizon and the masts, and so how do I interpret that in a more abstracted way without drawing an actual boat? I could draw a boat, but I'm just going to create these lines that represent that to me. And it kind of digs into this gouache. And maybe this is like an idea of a sail. Okay, and then maybe some bits of splashing just to kind of carve in. I hope you can see it. Just kind of carving into this. And I know that I have pastel here, but I don't think it's gonna go, but we're gonna try. So I have a soft pastel. Let's go over here first, and I just wanna add a little splash of color here. This kind of aqua color here. Add a little interest. Oh, that looks cool. A little splashy feel. All right. I'm gonna let that be, and I'm gonna take off my tape. Let's just see how it looks, and then I'll show you one other thing, another idea for you. Oops, there we go. Move this out of the way. Bring the day at the beach over here. Okay, I think you can see that. One of the other things, I've done it in a class called Voyage, and this was at the lake. This was when I went to Lake Como, and there was this little village, and I was looking down at where the little harbor where all the boats were. Excuse me. And so I did a jelly plate, and I started with like a really pale creamy color and rolled it on the jelly plate and put the paper down. Then I used this blue, I don't know what blue it is at this point, but it's a paler blue, maybe like a cerulean mixed with something, and I rolled it part way and put the paper down. And then I went across and just did the landscape of the water, and then put the paper down on the plate and pulled it off. And then let it completely dry, and then I went over it with some marks, and there were all these arches in Italy and doorways, so this is a more abstracted view of it, and then this is kind of representative of the little village and the colors of the houses, and so I did this in pastel, but it was completely dry. So this is another idea for you to take after you do this, and this will fuel this. So that's why it's important to always have a little sketchbook with something. You don't have to have watercolors, you could do the crayons. That's super cool, I've done that before. This, I used 5x7 watercolor paper and mounted it with Yes paste on the wood panel. All right, I'm going to change our view. I'm gonna come back and say hi to you, or goodbye to you. Okay, here we go. Did I do it? There I am, okay, here I am. All right, maybe I will figure out how to make it all work easier. I don't know. It was better than last time. At least it wasn't sideways. So anyway, let me get this on my computer here so you can see if you have any questions. And if I don't get to them all right now, I'll go back in the comments and let you know. All right. Oh, you're welcome, Vicki. Thanks, Judy. I'm glad you like Voyage. Oh, I know, Renata, the tape is so magical, isn't it? I love that. Okay. Oh, Michelle, thanks for watching as you drive. Okay. Okay, my friends, so if you have any questions about any of the things that I did today, put it in the comments and I will, as my hair falls over, I will check back and try to answer them. And remember that there will be a Zoom art class, Summer Fruit and Flowers, and I will probably open up registration in the next couple weeks for that. It's July 31st at 3:30 Eastern Time. It's a Thursday. You may not receive a newsletter from me next week because I'm leaving on Saturday to go to Connecticut to teach at Artists Rising Art Retreat. And I know some of our community people will be there. I'm super excited to see everyone. So we're gonna spend 4.5 days making art. So it'll be great. So I will touch base with you when I get back, but Rebecca will be around. You can always reach out to her, hello@ReneeMullerArt.com. And tomorrow I should have a new Substack Open Studio post up, which I'll send out in tomorrow's newsletter. So you'll get one more newsletter this week. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, my friends, thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me and make art. All right, I love you. Bye.